name's Matt with Olympus Reptiles. I'm just going to get it out the way. That way I quit getting like off on a tangent on our videos. And we're going to talk about spider today. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to tell you exactly how I'm going to shoot this video. I haven't prepared anything other than marking them, so I know which ones to grab. And we have marked every single spider in our collection that we're keeping, and one baby, because I ran out of blue clips to mark them, to just show you. So you're going to pull them out, and you're going to see exactly how every one of them we keep acts. You're going to see exactly how they wobble. You're going to see everything. Ain't nothing hidden. You know, I'll tell you, when it comes to our ball python collection, when it comes to our YouTube, we have long been a big believer in transparency. And I hope that belief in our transparency and how transparent we've been in our failures and our successes and everything that we do is going to give us a little bit of leeway. And what I mean by that is, when I'm sitting here telling you, I'm showing you everything, I hope you believe us. And I hope you take that to the bank. And I'm telling you that everybody else who is, I don't want to say everybody else, I can't speak for everybody else. That's not a very fair thing to say. But a lot of people who show you one snake and say, oh, look how terrible this thing wobbles, or look how terrible this is, or look how whatever, you know, you want to see or want to say, spider's terrible. We should never breed spider. One, they're showing one animal. Okay? I can show you, or I could, I don't have any that are currently an issue, non-spiders, all right, that are a problem. I can show you non-spiders that literally shit their entire anus out, and I had to cull them. That's happened. I have had snakes that have issues because they were born small at times. I've had to nurse them back to health. I've seen other people's animals who have wobbles and aren't spiders. You've seen it in champagne. You've seen it in hidden gene woma. I've seen it in woma. I've seen it in spot nose. Okay? Just to the same level. As a matter of fact, everything I just listed, save spot nose, but it's really sketchy on that. Shouldn't even put spider too because it's a lethal combo. Why? Because you cannot, and again, transparency, you can't do super spider. And those who are saying you can, I know there's some out there that say, oh, I think you can. Maybe they're right. I'm not going to do it. Based on the research I've done and the people I've talked to and the results I've seen, I personally feel like it's a bad combo and it's lethal. I know it's lethal with champagne. I know it's lethal with everything else I just listed. So, are there issues with spider? Yes. Let's get that out the way now. Yes. Is spider wobble real? Yes. It is real. We're not denying it. I'm not saying, oh, spider wobble doesn't exist. That's not what we're saying. Okay? What we're saying is, what is spider wobble? Does the animal suffer? Is it a problem? Because I'll tell you what, albino light sensitivity is real. It's real in all albino animals in their eyes. Those red, pink eyes. Bug-eye's real in super lessers and bell complex in general. Kinking. Kinking's real in super black pastel. That's a much bigger issue than what spider has, actually. We're going to try it once. We have a theory on how to try to eliminate that. If it doesn't work, like you've heard me say, we're never going to do it again. There's all kinds of animals out there that have issues. Caramel, you know, caramel can't lay eggs. Or not caramel. Caramels have a higher chance of, I think I said earlier in another video, caramel will die if you breed it into female. That's not true. Desert ghost, desert. Desert will die. Desert ghost is separate. Desert will die if you breed a female. Desert ghost is perfectly fine. Caramel has a higher chance of kinks. So, much higher rate of that. So there's issues there. So there's issues with all kinds of different ball python morphs. And yet we focus on spider. So let's look at the actual evidence that we have. Now granted, it's one man's collection. So we're just going to start with the racks and go in order. We'll start right here. We'll do the baby last. This is not an animal I produced. It's an animal I purchased. This is probably my worst feeding spider. She's just a little angry at the world. She was sold to us as a killer bee het clown. I think she might be a bumblebee het clown. The guy I bought her from wouldn't have been the one who misidentified her. It would have been who produced her. But we'll see when she produces. I have seen killers that are this dark. I typically see them more blushed out. If she produces straight, hissy, all pastels, then we'll know, right? Here's the thing. So this snake carries multiple genes. Also, the more genes you cram into something, the higher likelihood you are going to have of issues. You got at least one pastel copy, one spider copy, and it's het for clown, right? Other than hissing at me and wanting me to die, it's doing well. It's moving fine. Its tongue flick is good. Its body condition is good. It has eaten for. It's just my slowest feeder. I love when they do that. All right, girl, I'll put you back. You can see it's doing good. Now, I'm not going to try to roll her over. I will with some, but because she's already hissing and stressed, I do believe stress, especially prolonged stress over time, or too high of heat, will lead to making things worse, okay? So if you have one that's really bad, and it wasn't bad to begin with, people are like, oh, it just happens. My ass! I've had spiders since I started. I've never had one just start becoming a really bad wobbler. It's in their husbandry. That's my guess. Now again, can I prove that? No, I can't. I can't prove that. This is based on my experience. But we just don't have those issues. Here's another one. Oh, I know, girlie, you're really full. I put a big meal on you last night. This is one that eats like a beast. This is a spider clown. Beautiful, beautiful female. We're trying to get to size. And you can also see, now I'm not going to roll her either, because like I say, she just had a big meal. So I'm not going to mess with her and try to cause her to vomit. Now, let's talk about spider wobble, because I can see it right now. When it first came known, this is what you'd see. See how the head's a little bit sideways? That's it. It's not completely right. When their head's off the ground, they typically have a little bit of an issue. That floppy thing looks like banging its head and busting its face all over that people like to show, or crawling upside down. Again, stress-induced. She's about to be stress-induced because she's thinking of lighting somebody up. But even if she stresses, she's not going to do that because she's not living in a constant state of fear and stress. All right, girl, we'll put you back up. There you go, baby. I'll go up to my favorite one. He gets handled all the time because this is one of my favorite snakes I've ever produced. And of course, you guys know him. That's Zeus. And again, this is a multi-gene animal. We're talking a pastel spider exanthic SK line. Look, he's doing what a spider does. Now that he's hidden like this, I flip him over, he probably won't roll back over right away because he's hiding his head. But see, he flips over just fine. No issue when he decides to. Just like any other ball python would. Not an issue. Doing great. Cruising around. Doesn't really like being rolled over. Not used to being out and running around free. But I don't see any issues.
What exactly is the spider gene? What does it do?
Well, we'll show some straight, just plain spiders, but it changes the pattern. So you get that really cool barbed wire pattern. Now, we purposely breed for that to be more reduced. There's a little bit of spider wobble there, too, because his head's up off the ground being held. They have a hard time finding that down. Now, when their head's on the ground, whoop, instantaneously perfect. No issues. These are not tree snakes, okay? It's not going to bother them in life. As a matter of fact, the first spider was found by and imported by Nerd. Nerd didn't find it, they just imported it. It was an adult, that's what I understand. Nerd can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I know it was surviving in the wild. It wasn't hatched out of an egg. It was like thriving. So, you know, ball pythons in general have a tough time doing that. This one didn't, so they do great. But it changes the pattern. Back to Kurt's question. So you get a really cool pattern. You get a lot of white on the sides. Really kind of a neat animal. Queen bee. So I'll show you what a spider does in this snake. So that's a lesser pastel spider. And we'll compare it to just a lesser pastel. So you can really see how much of a difference that makes. Now that look may be for you, it may not. And again, if you choose not to work with spider, I'm okay with that. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong or tell you how horrible you are, that you're an idiot or you're a moron or that you should do this or you should do that, because you know what? I believe you're free to make your own decisions. But I believe I should be too. So that's just kind of where some of that comes from, is people trying to ban things because they don't like it. Well, there's a lot of things. I don't like broccoli, but I don't give a damn if you eat it, you know. I don't like spinach. I don't care if you eat it. I obviously like steak. But if you're vegan, that's okay. Be vegan. But let me eat what I want. Let me have the things I want if I'm not hurting anybody and I'm not hurting them. And let others do the same. That's just a gorgeous animal. And it doesn't have those issues. All those, and see, you're not even really seeing that one when it's up and around. And again, there's nothing we're hiding. Like, that's what's so funny. People can show you one that's a mess. I can find, you're going to crawl up me now, baby girl? I can find evidence of other ball pythons that are a mess and show you one example. Or out of the hundreds of thousands out there, even 5 or 10 examples. But it's funny, I can go through here. I can't show you one in my collection, can I? Interesting. Interesting fact. We'll get to this baby rack. Now, this is the only holdback I had of spider this year. And you may be saying, well, if you like spiders so much, why didn't you hold back more? My collection's got too much of it as it is. So, and they can't breed spider to spider, so you do have to kind of control your holdbacks. This is one of the prettiest spiders you'll see, in my opinion. And what this is a bumblebee calico, so a calibi, so a pastel calico spider. She does have a little bit of a bad attitude. She eats great. You can see she looks really good. Her body control is fine. And as far as they can't strike and they miss, I'm not going to stick my hand in front of her because I know damn well how accurate she is. She tends to be a face biter when she feeds, and she will bite me when she gets a chance if she's in a bad mood. You can see how stiff she is. So they do strike accurately when they're not overly stressed. I will say that sometimes they will miss, but you know what? Kurt, how many times have you seen other ball pythons in here miss a strike?
Every night, or every time we feed.
Every time somebody's going to miss and have to redo it. Do you think spiders miss more frequently than the other ones we have? I mean, have you noticed a difference?
No.
Now, could it be they miss 4% or 5% more and even 10% more? It could be. It's not like we're tracking those numbers and watching the strikes every time. I don't know why I snapped. You can't hear that. But they don't miss at such a frequent rate that you're like, oh my God, spider. They can't strike anything. They miss all the time. It's just not happening, guys. It's just not happening. Have you seen a wobbler yet? Like a bad wobbler? And what the problem is, when people go and they start talking this crap with very limited knowledge about the actual gene, or only having one or seeing one, and they put that out there and people think that's the norm, not the exception. And some people ask me, well, have you ever had a spider that strikes so bad it breaks its face on the glass? No, I've never seen that. I don't know anybody that's had that other than the people who make videos supposedly about it. That, again, I would have questions as to how they keep their spider. This is one of my first ball pythons. I got two at the same time. Boy, he's proof that spiders thrive. This is a male. He'll breed anything. He'd breed a garden hose if you'd let him. Again, he's a bumblebee. And you can look at how just large he is. I mean, he is not having problems at all. His body control is perfect. Whoop! Come on back here. He's trying to run away on me. If I can even get him to flip over. Yeah, can't. Like, he's not gonna, you know... I mean, I don't mind trying to stress him a little bit because I know, like, he's not... Yeah, all that, they can't turn themselves over. And I would never do this normally, but I have to prove a point. And you're like, oh, that's so terrible. How do you think their spiders got flipped over? They overstress them to prove that point. I'm not going to overstress it, but you can see it flips over just fine. This guy's great. That is Apollo. Get back in there, buddy. He almost needs a female tub. He's so damn big. Put him back in there. This is probably one of my goofiest spiders I got right here. This is a Het True Ghost spider. It's also extremely dark. And I will say his wobble's probably more pronounced than any other spider I have. There's maybe one of that can compete with it. They present a little bit different. But he doesn't do loop-to-loops. He doesn't slam off stuff. And I think the reason his will show a little more is because he was born so very, very small. This snake was born, I believe, in the low 30s or 20s out of a very small egg. And I think that kind of has set that up to be that way. He eats when he wants. Right now he's more interested in breeding. His breeding year is about to be over to getting back on food good, but otherwise he ate really, really great. He's a little bit of an interesting spider too, because even though you can see the pattern's really cool, he carries two other genes. He is Het for Ghost and he is Het for Exanthic. He's extremely dark down the sides with very, very little white. It's a very odd presentation, so we'll see what he does. But again, you can see he's cruising, he's moving fine. When he eats fine. But right there, where he had his head a little sideways when I picked him up, that's it. That's what the wobble presents as 99.9% of the time. It's not loop-to-loop roller coasters or snakes breaking their face or anything else. This is the truth. It may not be the truth you've been told, but for Olympus Reptiles and the spiders we breed and the spiders we have, this is the truth. I'm literally showing you every one I have. I already showed you that one. Oh, here's next. This is an Exanthic spider, SK line, produced by Tall Grass Reptiles. Been a great breeder for me. He's more interested in breeding right now. There you can see that head cocked a little bit, that curious look to the side. That would be a presentation of his wobble. But he's fine. If I were to flip him, I don't know if he'd flip right over. Not because he can't. We'll try it. but because he's tense, yeah, he flipped right back over. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. So he righted his head, righted his body, no issues, not having a problem at all. He's gorgeous. And again, this is an axanthic spider. And if you don't know exactly what you're looking for, you'd say there's no wobble. I'm telling you it's there. Right there was a tick. But it's such a minor thing, and it doesn't affect them at all, that, you know, when you're looking for the one that looks like a metronome slinging back and forth, you're not going to find that very often, and you're not going to find that here. And again, I would wonder why in certain people's collection that happens. I'm just going to say that. It doesn't happen in mine, so why does it happen in theirs? They may have one spider, and I have a crap ton, and I produced a crap ton. I've never seen it, but yet the one they have, it shows up. Very, very interesting. This would be my other one that probably has the most presentation of a wobble. This is my first ever holdbacks. This is a killer bee. That was one of the first goals I had to make. So this is a super pastel spider, and she is absolutely beautiful. She ate so well, because again, you guys who keep ball pythons, you know a stressed, suffering snake eats like crap, right? It eats like crap. They don't do well. They don't thrive well. She bred in 2 years at over 2,000 grams without power feeding. She never missed a meal. And we'll see if she'll wobble a little bit. See how she can pick her head up and bring it back down? That could be a slight presentation of it. But you're not seeing loop-de-loops. You're not seeing roller coasters. Now, if the snake was overly stressed, could this particular snake develop into that? Possibly. I don't know. I've never overly stressed one to experiment, nor would I. It's kind of, again, about keeping your animals the proper way. So, gorgeous. Now, if you pick her up and her head's off the ground, she will tend to crawl, and she will tend to get a little bit twisted there. That's the presentation of wobble. That's it. That's what the normal ball python wobble truly is. Whoop. There you go. But then again, as soon as we get back down, she goes back to fine. Pick her up, you'll get a little bit of that. Back down, back to fine. She doesn't roam around in her tub doing loops. She doesn't bang off the wall. She doesn't have any problems. She's not suffering any pain or anything else like that. I would do the flip test on her, but since she's been breeding, I don't want to keep her out too long because I'm hoping she'll produce for me again this year. Right? Be third year for you in a row, I do believe. Come on. Get in your tub. And again. And if you don't believe me, I'll show her in the tub. See? She moves around the tub just fine. Motor's around perfect. No issues. Probably use a fresh water dish. I'm going to dump that for me behind you. Actually, no, I'll dump it when it's getting dry. But one problem with live feeding, you get extra coconut and everything because the rats like to kick it in there. But you can see there's not an issue from this spider. And this is, like I say, probably the worst one. Now, you're saying, okay, what about the babies, right? Oh, we got one more adult to show you. I almost forgot about you. That's because you're going to produce babies this year. Oh, for the second year again. This is the Calabee's mother. And you can see she's fine too. No issue whatsoever. Beautiful bumblebee. You can see how well she moves, how thick she is. She eats great. Not a problem. No signs that a normal owner would ever see of a wobble. We're not metronoming. We're not loop-de-looping. We're not busting our face off everything. We're not blind striking. We're not presenting as if there's a problem. This is the real. All that other crap you see is sensationalized crap. Can I sit here and try to sensationalize something? Yeah, I could. Would it get me more views? Yeah, it would. That's not what I'm about. I wanted to be open and transparent. The only time I think we've ever sensationalized a video was on April Fool's Day when I faked a rattlesnake bite. That was kind of sensational. But, you know, on our animals, I want you guys to have the truth. And I know some of you are going to watch this, and I know you're not going to agree with me. And that's okay. You know what? I hope you stay around. I hope you keep watching. I hope you can accept that you may have a different belief than I do. And you can accept that other people may feel the way that I feel. And I accept other people may feel the way that you feel and not like spider and not think it should be dealt with. But the way that you make that change is like this. So if you don't believe spider should be kept, then don't keep spider. Okay? And if enough people are like you and don't keep spider, you'll see less of it produced. If there's a demand for it, more is going to be produced. It's how business works. Me personally, I'm always going to produce some spider. Why? Because I love it. And it's not about money on spider. I don't get enough money for spiders to make it about the money. It's not worth the headache of having to have this conversation for it to be about the money. That's the most absurd thing I've ever heard, where people say, oh, you're a breeder and you breed spider, you must be all about the money. Yep, that's right, because getting $90 a baby is what's going to pay my bills. Really? Okay. When I could do a bunch of GHI and make, 2 to 3 times that a baby? I mean, for reals? We're for reals going to go there? Here you go, baby bumblebee, right there. That was due to be shipped out. You can see it's been eating great since it was born. A really pretty color. They come out beautiful as babies. Now, if I set that there, it's going to have its head right, but it's going to hold its body kind of like that. It's just kind of par for the course. Let's see here. You'll have other snakes that sometime will do the same thing. Oh my God! What the hell? So wait a minute. It's not flipping over, and this is a normal and it's not flipping over. It's pretty much doing the same thing. So is this a problem? Oh, this snake must be suffering horribly. Oh my God, this should never have been bred. It's doing terrible things. Oh, wait a minute. This one's doing the same thing. This one looks like it wants to bite camera guy Kurt. This one looks like it just wants to hide. So do you see the point I'm making? You can't do something like this and say the snake won't flip and this is such a terrible bad behavior, proving that spider is terrible, when other ones will do the exact same thing with no spider. Alright. So I don't get bit. Watch this. Here's your aggressive python trick. If you come at that python's face right now, it's going to bite the shit out of you. Now, is a baby bite bad? First of all, no, it's not going to hurt you. Do you want to get bit? No, I don't want to get bit. Why is the main reason I don't want to get bit? It's not because it's going to hurt. It's not because it's going to bleed. Lord knows I got extra blood. It's because those snakes can break off teeth that can actually abscess and be problems. Usually won't, but it can be. I don't want them breaking teeth. So you come from behind. Remember, you can see on the side, so the eyes are, but come from behind and just simply, whoop, cover that snake up. And look, we're back to hiding her head. We're not good. Get in there. This one I don't need to do that with because it's not trying to bite. See, it's already kind of trying to go into a hide, so I can do it much easier. I'll put it back in there. Woo! I need warm weather. You need to get shipped out. You're too big. We realized as we were going through this that we did miss one. We had a clip on it to market. We just forgot to show it. And in the interest of full transparency, we do want to show everything. So we're kind of cramming this one in here on you. This is one of my favorite spiders. Now, by the time we realized we missed it, we already filmed the Patreon video. So she's already been pulled out about 3 times. Here, wrecking your tub in there. And watch, she's still not going to have any problems. What this is this is a spider het for snow. So she's het for xanthic, she's het for albino. Produced right here in-house. Probably my favorite spider. I don't know how I missed her. She only has one little spot. Everything else has been reduced and out. You can look. It's also one of my snakes that does have a scar. That scar is right there. That little extra melanin is actually a scar. It is not from a rat bite. That scar is from an escape attempt when she was young. We were able to breed this snake also at 2 years old, and she produced for us, and she's been bred again this year. And you can see she works perfectly. I'll even try to like flip her over. Whoop, right back over. So again, and again, she's been in and out because of the filming, which is honestly a little bit stressful for them. But ours are kind of used to that, and not a big deal. So, Kurt, any questions about this snake whose name is Nike?
No.
Oh, right there, you did see a little while I put her back on the table. But again, as soon as the head's down, things go well. And you can see now she's starting to stress a little bit because she's tired of being out. But she still moves perfect. All right, guys, I'm going to put her back up. We wanted to include that because we told you we were going to show you all of them. And then we missed one. Sorry about the hard edit. But again, we wanted to honor our word because transparency for us is pretty important when it comes to our ball pythons. All right, Kurt, anything you want to add?
No.
We didn't talk as much about combos, but you can see on everything I showed, spider makes things pretty. It just does. I think we showed every single one that we've kept. Think of any we missed? If you do, tell me, I'll show it.
No.
If you guys think of one I missed, tell me and I'll show it. Because Sometimes I forget a snake. I got a ton of them. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. If the comments get too out of hand on this, with people bashing crap and not being civil, other than me, we will shut comments down. If you're going to have an opinion, you can have it. Be nice. Be civil. If not, suffer the wrath. That's fair. I think that should go without saying. You know, if you can't be nice and you can't be civil, keep your mouth closed. If you can, and you want to discuss this topic, let's do it. I'll even schedule an open forum sometime on a live video to discuss this topic if somebody wants to. I'm not afraid to do so. I will discuss it with any of you that want to discuss it. If one of you really wants to discuss it with me, send me a message. If I see the message, I don't see all of them, we can have a discussion if you're curious or have something that you're curious about. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to have a discussion with somebody who just wants to bitch, moan, and complain. Nothing good's going to come of that. It's a waste of my time, and my time is actually worth something to me. So I'm not going to do that with you. But if you want to have an actual conversation, we will. For those of you that love Spider, put it in those comments. Let us hear it. Let us hear your experiences with it, because I know there's a lot of you out there that love Spider and are like right now kind of afraid to say much for getting backlash. Well, I'm not afraid of the backlash, so I'm going to say it's great. So let's hear you kind of sing with me that it's awesome. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.